Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we have the big one for the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. It is the Millennium Falcon. I am so excited to open this up. Alright, so as you can tell, it is in the biggest box I have shown thus far. It is currently the largest ship that they have on the market. We can see on the back the other ships that they offer, with the second biggest two being the Slave One and the Razor Crest here. And then the Troop Transport, and then everyone else is relatively small. You see them there. I really am very excited about this Millennium Falcon. I think that the scale for these is really good because we can get some like capital ships. Like we can get the Tantive, we can get a Star Destroyer, and they can just, you know, charge more if they're obviously going to be bigger than the Millennium Falcon, because this is $44, which I actually think, at least my first opinion, I think is pretty fair. It has lights and sounds, comes with 4 figures, and I mean, all of these guys are super hyper detailed. So I think $44 is affordable for something like this, and then for the bigger ships, they could bump it up. I mean, if they include enough features and stuff, it can definitely be worth, you know, getting, you know, charging more, obviously, for a larger ship. So anyways, and then even on top of that, they're still really small. So obviously it looks beautiful. The box that Jazzwares does for these Micro Galaxy Squadrons, I think, are really, really nice. Has a launch day edition sticker. You can find the Millennium Falcon anywhere. To my knowledge, I found this one at Target, and they are pretty, I mean, common. I think because it's more of an expensive one, it's just not flying off the shelves like obviously the chase ships and some of the smaller ships. But overall, very, very cool looking. This one has motion activated lights and sounds, so I'm very excited to try those out. There are no batteries included, but luckily I think I do have some AAAs. On the back, we have some features, which we'll all try out, as well as the collectible card you can cut out, which is cool that they offer that. But the box looks just very nice. I'm very excited about it. Yeah, so anyways, we're going to have to move. I'm not going to do this one in front of the camera because it is so big and there is so many, like, things to do with it. So I'm going to flip the camera around. So yeah, let's head to the bar. Okay, so here we are with the Millennium Falcon in a better view. So let's open it up. And I do, again, am admiring the artwork in the back of these boxes. I think they're really pretty overall. And here we are. We have the Millennium Falcon in a super deep bubble with the characters and a couple of accessories. Well, that was not easy to get out of the bubble, let me tell you. It's because it's so deep. All right, and it looks like we got a little rubber band. I think that's it. One thing I do notice upon first opening this is the cockpit doesn't seem to want to stay closed. It kind of just lays down, which is fine. Well, I mean, not fine if you're wanting to spin it upside down. I'm not sure if that's just me, if my copy's like that or what, but anyways, just first observations, and I think that this thing is painted really, really well. There's a lot of sculpting detail in here. It's kind of crazy. I mean, if you look, all of the tiny pieces. That's where we're going to have our lights, which we'll show in a minute. It just looks really, really nice overall. I'm quite impressed. And with this one being a little bit thicker, it doesn't quite seem as plasticky. It is plastic, but it doesn't seem as plasticky as the other ones. Looks like there is also landing gear, which is cool. Wow, look at that. That's very nice. We have another carved turret right there. Pretty impressive. That looks nice. Let's stick the satellite on so that it's, you know, on proper. Oops, my landing gear folded down. There we go. Wow, yeah, that looks good. And then the turret for the top. Oops, kind of fell out of its hinges here. There's also this weird little feature that I promptly pulled off and lost, but it's this little peg thing. It actually keeps the turret locked into position from the top of the Falcon. It just keeps it from falling out, it seems like. So it's sort of interesting. And it does, upon further inspection, look like my cockpit's hinges just don't work super well, which is really a bummer. Because if you want to like play with it and flip it upside down, your characters are going to fly off. I mean, for display purposes, it's not going to be a huge deal, but it is what it is. I think there are instructions with these. Let me see. Yes, so I found the instructions, but I did want to show you the inside of the cockpit. It's got 4 seats, looks pretty good. Again, lots of detail. I know that some of the pieces come off. There are 2 buttons back here that control the lights and sounds. And this whole section removes. That is very, very cool. Look at that. So there's the, maybe a storage area. There is the cockpit area that opens up and you can put a figure in there, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. Chests back here. Some more storage. I think this little grate even comes up. Yeah, how cool. They did not need to include that, but they certainly did. That is really freaking cool. Wow, how neat. And then, of course, there is a platform, a boarding platform, which I'm not sure doesn't want to come down. Glad the boarding platform doesn't want to come down, but the cockpit just flies open. There we go. That definitely took some force there to get down, but very cool nonetheless. Probably won't be using this super often just due to the fact of how difficult it was to, for one, open, and number 2, it looks relatively short in comparison. But yeah, lots of detail on the inside. That's really, really cool. I like that a lot. That is super fun. And then, of course, your cockpit there. So yeah, let's stick the batteries in and test out the lights and sounds, and we'll show you the figures inside and have a good time. That's quite cool. Look at that light. That's very bright. So this button is the hyperspace. This one is the cannons, I believe. So that's just the startup, and it's motion activated. That's so cool. Let me back up the camera just a bit so you guys can see it a little better. Then cool. Let's try the so that's very cool. That definitely is the cannon sound, and it looks like this light stays on. I really have a big problem with this cockpit. It's throwing me off just due to the fact that it's falling over. I mean, oh, I'm not doing anything. It's just making sounds here. Let me take off this back plate really quick and see. Yeah, it like lights up this whole back section, which is actually pretty cool. Throwing it off because I'm tilting it sideways. Let's see if we can get it to quiet down. Falcon aside, we can now take a nice good look at the 4 figures that come in this set, which is Han Solo, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Chewbacca. So far, the Millennium Falcon is the only way you can get these characters. Just like most of them, they are exclusive or some version of exclusivity towards each ship. I don't imagine it'll stay that way after a long period of time, but when they have like lots of ships and stuff, but we'll see. So first up we have Han Solo, and I think that he's painted quite well given the, you know, tininess of the scale here, with 1 inch. He even has his hair painted. His jacket looks quite good. Pants look good, vest look good. He even has painting on his belt, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, not bad. He's quite cool. And one thing I really like about all these figures is they stand up on their own. I think that's absolutely crazy. Personally, that's just, woo. Next here we have Princess Leia, and she also looks pretty good. Her belt is painted as well as her hair, and she's mostly white. It's a very simplistic figure, so understandable there. But she looks super good as well. I also like that they have different heights, if I haven't mentioned that before. Very accurate to me. And here is Ben Kenobi. His paint's a little bit messier, but he does have his sculpted lightsaber and robes, hair, and cloak. Yeah, it's a little rough on the hand there. Hopefully if you guys pick one of these up, your copy is a little bit cleaner. And then, of course, the best for last, we get Chewbacca. Who I must say I'm disappointed. I don't know why they didn't paint his bandolier silver. Why did they not do that? They painted everything else on every other character, so it is a little bit disappointing to see that he is just plain brown, because he doesn't have a lot of color variation to begin with anyway. His legs are separate, and of course he is the tallest of the crew. Does he stand? That's the question. Yes. Perfect. They all stand. So let's put them inside the ship in a couple of different places. We can kind of explore some of the other playability to this ship as well. All right, there's the crew there in the cockpit. I love how you can access all 4 seats, though the back 2 seats are pretty hard to put characters into. You almost need tweezers for them. Leia specifically wants to fall over because she is so much smaller. And close that up. Unfortunately, my cockpit won't keep them in because this is just going to fly up anytime they go upside down. But that's how that looks, which is pretty dang cool. I like the detail. And I will note, as I go about this, I find that the landing gear collapses super easy. So it'll be like, I've got it standing on the landing gear right now, and I'll like do a couple things and I notice it starts rocking because the landing gear just like folds in kind of unexpectedly. But looking at the turret here, if you just remove, again, this piece, you want to be careful not to lose it or this thing's going to start just like sliding out. But if you remove it all the way, you can fit a character inside. I put Chewbacca in, and he does fit in the seat quite well. He doesn't wiggle or anything. And so he faces in this direction for the cannon, which I think is really cool. We can probably see him on the inside too, which I'll show when I put some of the characters on the inside of the Millennium Falcon and their like seating arrangements over there. But yeah, this little piece is super tiny. You definitely don't want to lose it like I almost did. Gotta make sure you twist it so that it locks the little turret in place. All right, so again, it's super great since they stand on their own. You can place them in the interior of the Falcon. Obviously, the walls are going to be a little bit short. As you can tell, the figures stick up out of it, but they can walk around if you're going to be playing with it. And then I have Ben back here in the chess table playing chess, which is pretty cool. You can also fit these guys in a little storage compartment as well. And then you can see Chewbacca in there manning the cannon from there. So overall, I actually think this is a really cool ship. Like, there's a lot of playability and fun features. This is the only ship that we have that does light up with lights and sounds. My thing is at least with my copy, the cockpit doesn't want to stay closed, which really bothers me. And I don't like the landing gear, how it's very easy to take off or to put down, but it folds up in the middle of you trying to play with this thing, is what I've noticed. As well as the boarding ramp is very hard, at least again on my version, to bring down. And so that's not even a feature I would take advantage of, just because it's like really annoying to do. And I mean, you can hear it and see there. Now we're sideways because the landing gear has decided to fall down again. So here we are. Now, the landing gear is nice, and it compacts and stores very well. I love the lights and sounds. It's very cool. It's in a sleep mode right now, so if you don't touch the buttons, it won't light up, but you can activate it again by clicking the buttons, which are these two in the back. I also like how well they blend in. You can't even tell that they're buttons, really. And there we go with landing gear again. It's very annoying. So this is definitely something that, at least for me, I am glad I just display, because playing with this would make me frustrated as a kid, to be totally honest. I do like the version of the figures that you get. You get 4, which I think is fair. Most of the ships come with 1, some of them with 2 if they're a little bit bigger. But I think 4 figures is really fair, and it fills out your Falcon. Of course, you can add more characters to it. So it'll be interesting to see if they do another version of the Millennium Falcon or anything like that. But I would love to see bigger ships. If they could just fix some of these very small issues on a set like this, I think it's just so cool. I still do think that the value is there for what you're paying. And so if you do find this, I recommend picking it up. It is the biggest one in the line, and it's still not that expensive. And so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.